Captain James Reed stood on the observation deck of the Earth Space Initiative's flagship, the Horizon Asterisk. His heart beat faster as the massive alien ship came into view. It was beautiful, gleaming silver with blue lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. After decades of scanning the stars and sending signals into space, humanity had its answer. They were not alone. "Captain, they're sending a transmission," said Officer Mike Davis, his voice tight with excitement. "It's in English. They've been studying us." James nodded. Of course they had. Put it on screen. The face that appeared wasn't what James expected. The alien had smooth blue skin, large eyes that blinked sideways, and no visible nose. But there was something almost friendly in its expression. "Greetings, people of Earth. I am Ambassador Trell of the Galactic Council. We represent over 200 species who live together in peace. We have watched your world for some time and believe you are ready to join our community." That was 3 months ago. Now, James stood in the United Nations building in New York, watching as world leaders gathered to sign the treaty with the Galactic Council. "This is a historic day," President Wilson said to the crowd. "The Council has offered us technology beyond our dreams, medical advances that will end disease, clean energy to save our planet, faster than light travel to reach the stars." James watched Ambassador Trell nod politely. The alien delegation sat in special chairs designed for their different body shapes. Some had 6 limbs, others none at all. Some breathed special gases through masks, but all seemed pleased with the treaty. "In exchange," President Wilson continued, "we will provide the Council with access to Earth's water resources and mining rights for certain minerals that are rare in other parts of the galaxy." The deal seemed fair to most people. Earth had plenty of water, and the minerals the aliens wanted weren't even valuable to humans. For these simple things, humanity would jump forward hundreds of years in technology. Later, at the celebration dinner, James found himself standing next to Trell. "Your people adapted quickly to our presence," Trell said. "Most species panic when they first meet aliens." James smiled. "We've been preparing for this day for a long time. In our movies, books, and dreams." "Yes, your imagination is unusual," Trell replied. "Most species do not think as broadly as humans do." "Is that a compliment?" James asked. "An observation," Trell said. "Your people have achieved much in a short time. Most council races took twice as long to reach space." On the other side of the room, Dr. Tom White was showing some aliens pictures of his family. A group of school children was teaching alien diplomats to dance. Everyone was getting along. In the following months, things changed quickly on Earth. Alien technology began to appear everywhere. Hospitals used Council medical devices to cure diseases that had once been fatal. Factories adopted new clean energy systems. The first human colony ships prepared for trips to Mars and Europa, now possible with Council engines. 5 years passed. Earth had never known such peace and progress. Poverty was decreasing. The environment was healing. Humans worked alongside alien advisors in new research centers. Captain James Reed, now Admiral Reed, stood on the observation deck of the Unity Asterisk, Earth's first faster-than-light ship. He looked out at the stars, no longer distant points of light but possible destinations. "Admiral," his assistant called, "we're getting strange readings. Multiple large ships just appeared in orbit." James frowned. The Council hadn't mentioned sending a fleet. "They're not responding to hails," his assistant said, voice rising with concern. Then the first explosions lit up the sky over Earth, and James knew something had gone terribly wrong. The sky over New York burned red as Council warships filled the air. Similar scenes played out over every major city on Earth. Huge ships, at least 10 times larger than those humans had seen before, hovered like giant metal clouds. "What is the meaning of this?" President Wilson demanded. He stood in the emergency bunker beneath the White House, facing a screen showing Ambassador Trell. "We have a treaty." Trell's face showed no emotion. The treaty has been revised. The Galactic Council has completed its full assessment of humanity. Assessment? What assessment? The President's voice shook with anger. We have studied your history carefully, Trull continued. Your wars, your violence, your rapid development of weapons. The Council has voted to reclassify humans as a Level 3 aggressive species. In orbit, Admiral James Reed watched helplessly as smaller ships poured from the Council warships, heading for Earth's surface. His communications officer reported that Earth's defenses, built with Council technology, had mysteriously shut down. They built backdoors into everything they gave us, James realized with horror. On screens across the planet, Trull's message played. Under Council law, Level 3 species must be managed to prevent future threats. Humans will be relocated to controlled environments where they can be properly supervised. Within hours, alien soldiers moved through cities. They weren't the friendly diplomats humans had come to know. These were different aliens, tall, armored beings with 4 arms. They carried weapons that fired blue energy that didn't kill, but paralyzed any human it touched. In Chicago, Mark Wilson watched from a hidden basement as the aliens rounded up his neighbors. The people couldn't fight back. Their weapons didn't work. Mark had been a conspiracy theorist for years, warning anyone who would listen not to trust the aliens. No one had believed him. Now he clutched his old rifle, one made before alien technology, and found it still worked. On Mars Colony, Dr. Lisa Winters hid in an air duct as aliens herded colonists into ships. Lisa had been working on combining human and alien technology. The Council representatives had always seemed interested in her work, too interested perhaps. Now she understood why. Back on Earth, huge transport ships landed in fields outside cities. Millions of paralyzed humans were loaded onto them like cargo. Families were separated. Anyone who resisted was struck with the blue energy weapons until they couldn't move. The Council requires Earth's resources, Trull explained to the few government leaders kept as puppet rulers. Humans will be relocated to mining planets where their physical capabilities will be useful. Those who remain will live under Council supervision. 3 weeks after the invasion began, half of Earth's population was gone. The remaining humans lived under strict control. Curfews, limited food, no communication. The alien soldiers watched everything. In his secret command room on the Unity Admiral James Reed gathered the few officers who had escaped capture. They planned this from the beginning, he told them. They learned our weaknesses while pretending to be our friends. Why? Asked a young lieutenant. What do they really want? James pulled up images of the mining operations already starting in the oceans, the mountains, places that had been protected by human laws. They want Earth. They always did. But there's something else. He showed them data he'd managed to save before the ship's systems were compromised. They fear us. Their studies show humans adapt faster than any species they've encountered. We solve problems in ways they don't understand. He looked at the small group, the beginning of what would become humanity's resistance. They thought they could control us, James said, his voice low but determined. They're about to learn why that was a mistake. Thomas Gray dug through the rubble of what used to be his home in Chicago. The alien patrol had just passed, giving him a few minutes to search. His hand shook as he pulled out a small metal box, hidden under a broken floorboard. Inside was a picture of his wife and daughter, now gone, taken to some distant mining planet. "I'll find you," he whispered to their faces. Then he pocketed the photo and took out the real treasure, a small toolkit and a broken alien weapon he'd stolen from a dead soldier. 3 months had passed since the Council's betrayal. Thomas had been an engineer in the military before the aliens came. Now he used those skills for a different purpose. That night, in the basement of a ruined hospital, Thomas met with his small group. 20 people from different backgrounds now worked together. Soldiers, doctors, teachers, and regular people who just wanted to fight back. "I think I'd figured it out," Thomas told them. showing the alien weapon he had taken apart. Their energy guns use a power source similar to our old batteries, just much stronger. We can copy it. Across the room, Jack, a former police officer, practiced shooting with a bow and arrow. The aliens had disabled all human guns, but not simple weapons like these. Arrows won't stop their ships, Jack said. No, Thomas agreed, but understanding their technology will. On Mars, Dr. Lisa Winters had fared better than most. The Council kept human scientists alive to help operate the complex Earth technologies they still didn't fully understand. Lisa pretended to cooperate while secretly gathering information. "They're afraid of us," she told her small resistance cell that met in the air ducts of the research facility. "I've been translating their communications. They've never seen a species adapt as quickly as humans do." Her friend Rob, a computer programmer, nodded. "That's why they hit us before we got too advanced. And that's why we'll beat them," Lisa said. "They expect us to act like other conquered species, to give up. But that's not what humans do." Lisa had discovered something important. The neural pathways in human brains were different from any other species in the Council. This difference allowed humans to connect with alien technology in unexpected ways. Back on Earth, Thomas's group made their first real strike. They used homemade explosives to hit an alien patrol, stealing their weapons and a small transport ship. The aliens responded by putting more guards in the area, but Thomas's team was already gone, moving to another ruined city to spread their knowledge. Small resistance groups formed everywhere. With no working phones or internet, they used older methods to communicate: coded radio signals, paper messages, and even patterns of lights at night. The aliens couldn't track all these simple methods. In a Council command ship orbiting Earth, Ambassador Trell received troubling reports. "Humans are not behaving as expected," said Commander Vrek, a tall, four-armed alien in charge of Earth's occupation. "Most species accept their fate after showing initial resistance. These humans are becoming more organized, not less." "Increase security," Trell ordered. "Double the patrols. Find their leaders." "We've tried," Vrek admitted. "They keep changing tactics. Each group works differently." Unknown to the Council, Admiral James Reed had established a hidden base on Europa, Jupiter's moon. Using a stolen alien communicator, he contacted resistance leaders on Earth and Mars. "We need to coordinate," he told Thomas and Lisa during a rare secure transmission. "The Council expects us to fight like animals, desperate and disorganized. Instead, we'll show them how humans really fight, together, with strategy and purpose." Thomas looked at the picture of his family, then at his team preparing weapons. "They took everything from us," he said. "Now we'll take everything from them." Dr. Lisa Winters worked late in the Mars research facility. The alien guards paid little attention to her, just another human scientist doing assigned work. They didn't notice her slipping a small device into her pocket as she left. Back in her quarters, Lisa connected the device to a computer she had built from spare parts. The screen showed brain scans, alien on the left, human on the right. "It's true," she whispered to herself. The human brain had neural connections that the aliens lacked. Something about these connections allowed humans to process information differently. After 8 months of secret research, Lisa had created a neural interface. It was a small headset that amplified the unique abilities of the human brain. When wearing it, a person could connect to Council technology at a deeper level than the aliens themselves. Lisa sent her findings to Thomas Gray on Earth through their secret communication channel. "This could change everything," Thomas said to his team as they gathered in their new base, an old subway tunnel beneath Chicago. "Lisa's device will let us control their own systems against them." Maria, a former computer programmer, studied Lisa's designs. "I can build this with the parts we've collected, but we need to test it first." Thomas nodded. "And I know just the target." 3 days later, Thomas and 5 resistance fighters approached a small alien prison camp in what used to be Australia. The camp held about 500 humans who had resisted Council rule. Thomas wore Lisa's neural interface on his head. It looked like a thin metal band with small lights. "Here goes nothing," he said, focusing on the camp's security system. The interface lit up, and Thomas felt a strange sensation, like his mind was stretching into the alien computer. To his surprise, he could understand everything. The security codes, the patrol schedules, even the location of every guard. It was as if the alien technology welcomed his mind. "It's working," he told his team. "I can see everything. I can control their systems." With a thought, Thomas disabled the alarms and opened the cell doors. The guards, confused by their failing systems, were quickly overwhelmed by the freed prisoners and Thomas's team. Best of all, they captured 3 small council ships intact. News of the Australia prison break spread through resistance networks. More neural interfaces were built and distributed to key fighters. Each success gave them more alien technology to study and use. On his command ship, Ambassador Trell faced angry questions from the Council. "How did humans breach our security?" demanded High Counselor Zorn, his 6 eyes blinking with anger on the communication screen. "We don't know," Trell admitted. "Our systems showed no warnings until it was too late. It's as if they've become invisible to our technology." "Impossible," Zorn replied. "No species can adapt so quickly." But humans were doing just that. In hidden bases across Earth and Mars, resistance fighters learned to use the neural interfaces to hack Council systems, control their ships, and even reprogram their weapons. On Europa, Admiral Reed received the first captured Council vessel. His engineers took it apart, learning everything about how it worked. "The neural interface gives us an advantage they never expected," Reed told his officers. "Council technology responds to human brains in ways it doesn't even respond to its creators." One of his officers asked the question they all wondered: why? Why do our brains work this way with their tech? "Lisa thinks it's because we evolved differently," Reed explained. "The Council species all developed in similar environments, with similar evolutionary paths. Humans faced unique challenges on Earth that gave us different mental patterns." Reed looked at the star map showing Council positions throughout the solar system. "They thought they conquered us because we were weak," he said. "But they just awakened something in us they've never seen before. It's time to show them exactly what humans can do." Commander Alex Reeds had never flown anything like the Council ship. Yet somehow it felt natural with the neural interface on his head. The ship responded to his thoughts faster than it would for its alien makers. "All vessels, report in," Alex called to his small fleet. 5 captured Council ships, now piloted by humans wearing neural interfaces. "Gold 2, ready. Gold 3, ready. Gold 4, ready. Gold 5, ready." Alex took a deep breath. "Begin Operation Payback." The 5 ships dropped out of hiding behind Mars moon Phobos and raced toward the massive Council station that controlled all mining operations in the asteroid belt. With the neural interfaces, the human pilots could make their ships appear as friendly Council vessels on alien scanners. "They don't see us coming," Alex said with a grim smile. "Not until it's too late." The attack was swift and precise. The human fleet disabled the station's weapons, then boarded it. Within an hour, they controlled the entire facility. 2,000 human miners were freed, and the Council commanders were taken prisoner. This victory was just one of many. Across the solar system, human resistance forces launched coordinated attacks against Council targets. On Earth, Thomas Gray led a strike against the main Council base in North America. On Mars, Dr. Lisa Winters and her team took control of the research facility, where she had once been a prisoner. The Council had never faced an enemy like this in their 2,000-year history. Their technology, once their greatest strength, was now being used against them. Human pilots using neural interfaces could outmaneuver alien ships. Human hackers could shut down Council systems with a thought. Most important of all, the Resistance was freeing humans from the mining camps on distant planets. These former prisoners, hardened by months of brutal work, joined the fight eagerly. In his command center on Europa, Admiral James Reed tracked the progress of the human counterattack on a large display. Council forces are retreating from Jupiter's moons, reported his tactical officer. We've secured the mining operations on Ganymede and Callisto. James nodded. And the prisoners? 3,000 freed, sir. Most are willing to fight. The admiral studied the map showing human-controlled territory in green and council forces in red. The green was spreading, slowly but surely. On the council homeworld, Ambassador Trell faced the High Council. The huge chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species, all watching as Trell tried to explain the disaster unfolding in the Sol system. "How is this possible?" demanded High Counselor Zorn. "They are just one planet of primitives." "They are not like other species we have encountered," Trell admitted. "Humans think differently. They adapt to challenges in ways we cannot predict." Another counselor, Mira of the Arkan race, spoke up. "Perhaps we made a mistake in betraying them. If they were this capable of resistance, imagine what they could have contributed as allies." "It's too late for that," Zorn snapped. "We must crush this rebellion before other subject species get similar ideas." But crushing humanity was proving impossible. For every council ship destroyed, the humans captured 2 more. The neural interfaces gave them complete control over alien technology. Back on Mars, Dr. Lisa Winters made another breakthrough. She discovered how to use the neural interface to access the Council's main communication network, the system that connected all their worlds together. "We can send a message to every Council planet," she told Admiral Reed over a secure channel. "We can tell them what their leaders did to us, and why we're fighting back." Reed smiled, "And let the whole galaxy know that betraying humanity was the biggest mistake the Council ever made." The Grand Council chamber was in chaos. Representatives from 200 alien species shouted and argued. Some pounded their various limbs on desks, while others hovered nervously above their seats. "Order. I demand order." High Counselor Zorn's voice boomed through the chamber. Ambassador Mira of the Arkan race stood firm. "The humans have reclaimed Mars and established a defensive line around their solar system. Our fleets cannot break through. We must negotiate with them." "Negotiate? With a level 3 species?" Zorn's 6 eyes blinked rapidly in anger. "Impossible." "What is impossible?" Mira replied. "Is continuing this failed war. The humans have adapted our technology in ways we never imagined. They are using our own ships against us." The truth was even worse than most council members knew. In the past 3 weeks, humans had captured over 50 council warships and freed thousands of human prisoners from mining planets. These liberated humans quickly joined the fight, expanding the resistance forces. Ambassador Trell watched the arguments with growing concern. He had been the face of the Council to humanity, promising friendship while planning betrayal. Now he realized that betrayal had been a terrible mistake. "There is something you all must know," Trell said, stepping to the center of the chamber. "The decision to betray humanity was not made by the full Council." The chamber fell silent. "It was made by the 3 oldest Council races," Trell continued, looking directly at Zorn and the leaders of the other ancient species. "They saw humanity's potential and feared it. They feared humans would eventually surpass them." Gasps and angry whispers filled the room. Across the solar system, Admiral James Reed and the Unified Human Command prepared for their most ambitious operation yet, the liberation of Earth. With Mars secure and the asteroid belt under human control, they had built a fleet of over 100 ships, all piloted by humans with neural interfaces. "This will be the largest operation we've ever attempted," James told his officers aboard the flagship Defiance Asterisk, a captured Council heavy cruiser. "But Earth has suffered under Council rule for too long. It's time to bring our people home." The combined human fleet gathered near Jupiter, hidden from Council sensors by the gas giant's magnetic field. Smaller, faster ships would lead the attack, followed by troop transports carrying soldiers to land on Earth. As they made final preparations, a surprising message arrived. It came through the Council communication network that Dr. Lisa Winters had accessed. "This is Ambassador Mira of the Arkan race." The message began. "I represent a faction within the Galactic Council that opposes the war with humanity. We wish to open peace talks." James shared the message with his senior commanders, including Thomas Gray, who had come from Earth to join the Liberation Fleet. "It could be a trap," Thomas warned. "Or it could be our chance to end this without more bloodshed," James replied. "Either way, we continue with the operation. But we'll hear what this Ambassador Mira has to say." Back in the council chamber, the meeting had descended into open conflict. Several species had withdrawn their support for the war, refusing to send more ships or soldiers to fight humans. "This rebellion spreads beyond humanity," Zorn shouted. "Any who support them are traitors to the council." Ambassador Mira stood with her allies. "No, Zorn. You and your kind are the traitors. You violated our own laws when you classified humans as aggressive without proper evidence. You feared their potential so much that you created the very enemy you feared." As the council fractured, the human fleet moved into position for the final battle, the fight for Earth. Admiral Reed looked at the blue planet on his view screen, still partially covered by council ships. "No matter what happens with these peace talks," he told his crew, "we're going home." The sky over Earth filled with light as the human fleet arrived. 100 ships, all controlled by humans wearing neural interfaces, moved in perfect formation. They faced twice as many council vessels, but the council ships moved uncertainly, their commanders afraid of the humans' unexpected abilities. "All ships, begin attack pattern Delta," Admiral James Reed ordered from the bridge of the Defiance *. "Remember, our goal is to disable, not destroy. We want to free Earth, not destroy it." The battle began. Human ships moved in ways the Council had never seen, their neural-linked pilots predicting and countering alien tactics. Council weapons fired, but human-controlled shields adapted faster than the aliens could adjust their aim. On the Council homeworld, Ambassador Mira and her allies watched the battle through long-range sensors. "Remarkable," said one of her supporters, a scientist from a water-dwelling species. "The humans are fighting with strategy, not just anger. They're targeting command systems and weapons, not life support." Mira nodded. "They want victory, not vengeance." On Earth, Thomas Gray led the ground forces. Using captured Council landing craft, human soldiers touched down near major control centers. The neural interfaces let them pass through Council security as if it wasn't there. Thomas himself led the attack on the main Council headquarters in what used to be Geneva. As they approached, he used his interface to shut down the building's defenses. "Remember," he told his troops, "we capture, not kill. The universe needs to see that humans are better than they thought we were." Inside the headquarters, Ambassador Trell was stunned as the security systems failed. Human soldiers moved through the building, capturing alien administrators who had ruled Earth with cruelty for months. When Thomas entered Trell's office, the alien simply stood up from his desk. "It seems," Trell said, "that the Council made a serious error in judgment regarding humans." Thomas nodded. "Yes, you did." In orbit, the battle turned decisively in humanity's favor. The neural interfaces gave human pilots an overwhelming advantage. Council ships began to surrender or retreat. "Admiral," called the communications officer on the Defiance *. "We're receiving a message from Ambassador Mira of the Arkan race. Her fleet is approaching, but their weapons are powered down." James ordered the message put on screen. Ambassador Mira's face appeared, a gentle-looking alien with iridescent skin and wide, thoughtful eyes. "Admiral Reed," she said, "on behalf of the Reform Council, I come to offer peace. The old Council leadership has been removed. Those who ordered the betrayal of humanity will face justice." Within hours, the fighting stopped. Council forces surrendered control of Earth back to humans. The massive transports that had once carried human prisoners to distant mines now returned those same people to their home planet. 6 months later, a new Galactic Council chamber was built. This one stood on neutral ground, a space station orbiting between Earth and Mars. Representatives from all Council species gathered there. But this time, humans had a seat at the table. John Reed, son of Admiral James Reed and grandson of Captain Thomas Gray, stood as Earth's first official ambassador to the Galactic Council. Fellow members of the Council, John began, his voice carrying through the Grand Chamber. We gather today to build something new from the ashes of conflict. You betrayed humanity because you feared what we might become. In doing so, you forced us to become exactly what you feared. But now, perhaps, we can build something better together. The chamber erupted in applause as council members rose to their feet, seats, or hovering positions depending on their species. They recognized humanity not just as equals, but as the architects of a new galactic order, one built on respect rather than fear. From their special seats of honor, Admiral Reed and Thomas Gray watched with pride. The journey had been painful, but humanity had proven itself, and the galaxy would never be the same.